There's so many cases where the shooting is just uncalled for. It really is. And it needs to be discussed. It does. People, we need to talk about it.
And deputies, in the moments they confronted Brown, had reason to believe his car would be used as a deadly weapon. My comment on this is, any car is a deadly weapon, but here's the problem with this whole story. All this stuff is built around what happened. All these, their training, car used as a deadly weapon, that's built around what happened. And that's the problem. And so we're leaving ourselves open for the people that get the media coverage to build their story. Because if you're driving away from officers, then your car is not being used as a deadly weapon. Again, we got to figure out what to do to not allow ourselves to get put in this where other people get to write the narrative of why we died. And that's what's happening. They're writing the narrative, and the narrative makes them look like the hero and Andrew Brown look like the villain. I don't know this man, and I don't know the police officer, so I'm just saying it makes him look like the villain.
De-escalate the situation. They should be trained to do that. Weed out some of this racist element they have in the police department. And I'm not saying take their money away, defunding the police. I'm just saying maybe take some of their duties away. Put that money somewhere where people can be apprehended, if you will, but who is not dangerous. Defund, reallocate. Of course, and I know it's a lot of different opinions on the subject, but we don't need police for every little thing that they're called for.
If that's their defense, then we need to look to what that says, and it says with their training. That's where the defund or refund comes in, because we need to have the training looked at, and they need more training in how to handle people, more training in proper response, more training in when to use lethal force. Overall, they need more training.
I would agree with that. I think probably most of it is centered on how to shoot, how to fight, how to protect yourself.
There's 100,000 times when you can talk a person down from a situation, but if it's already a volatile situation and you go in with dynamite, you only get an explosion. And again, somebody dies. The police have to figure out how to take the volatility out of a situation safely. We're not talking about insanity, but we are talking about the proper response.
Right. For instance, whenever they have like a hostage situation or something like that.
Negotiator.
Talking really helps in situations where you don't have to come in shooting in order to protect your own life. Some situations can be talked down. No doubt about it. You know.
We got to have a better response.
Yeah, otherwise black people are going to stop calling the police and, in situations. Mm-hmm. They don't call the police to come kill my loved one. Just maybe come restrain, cool him down or something. Talk him down. It's at the point now I would really hate to call the police on one of my grandkids or one of my kids. I really would. Even though I would be calling the police hoping that they could calm the person down or something, not kill them.
This apparent threat was reinforced by Brown's dangerous and felonious use of a deadly weapon. As tragic as this incident is with the loss of life, the deputies on scene were nonetheless justified in defending themselves from death or great bodily injury. They can write the story to say whatever it is they want to say, and that's what's happening. At the same time, if I had to write the story or write the narrative on what happened, this is what I would say. So I understand the story, and I don't know that it's not true, but I'm just saying you allow people to write your story.
They can write your story, and you're going to say whatever they want to fix it up any way they want to fix it up.
And this is exactly what they did. Now, I do want to say for the family attorneys that say, they shot him in the back of the head. Well, when you think about somebody shooting somebody in the back of the head, that's a cowardly act, except if he's driving away in a car and they're shooting at the car, the likely place he's going to get hit is in the head. Was he a threat? You don't know if he was a threat because, again, we weren't there. We need to come up with a better response when the police show up. When the police show up in force, there needs to be a better response. Okay, so their attorney said, but the question is, when is that threat extinguished, said Coleman. It's very clear what Andrew was doing and what was going on. He was trying to escape. He was not trying to ram his car into officers. But, as I read previously, that's the narrative that they're telling. He was trying to run his car, into police officers. And like I said, a car is a deadly weapon. But he wasn't going toward the police. He was going away from the police. That's a really weak argument, but it's the one that's going to stand up. Oh, you can kill somebody with a car. Not if you're driving away from it, you can't.
Right.
Yeah, so when the police pull us over, we need to know what it is they expect. You mentioned something that was very key and very enlightening about when you were pulled over by the police.
Yeah. I really didn't know why I was being pulled over. I had no idea because they claimed that I ran a stop sign, which I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
If I had, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not run that stop sign. And that's why I kept going.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe they were going to pass me and go after somebody that was in front of me or something.
Mm-hmm.
But finally, they had all the sirens on and everything, yelling for me to stop, pull over. So I did. And I still didn't realize, I don't know what I thought, but I just didn't realize that they were after me. It's two cops in one car. And I pulled over, and then I got out of the car. It's a wonder they didn't kill me. Because it's like they went bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, talking to my kids and everything, they told me, they said, Mom, we thought you knew that. You don't ever get out of the car when the police stop you. Well, I really didn't know. Otherwise, there's no way I would have gotten out of that car.
And that's something, when you said that, I didn't know that either. I just never have gotten out of the car, which I've only been stopped maybe 3 times in my life. But I've never gotten out of the car. Again, just because I didn't, not because I thought I couldn't. I just didn't. Mm-hmm. We need to talk about the proper response when they pull you over. We need to talk about, even if it's a bogus stop, even if you know it's a bogus stop, you still got to have the correct response so that you go home, because that's the ultimate goal. Let's go home. Part of that is let them see that you are not a threat. How do you do that?
It doesn't matter. The soldier, remember, maybe a month ago,
mm-hmm.
he was not a threat. He got thrown to the ground. So it doesn't matter, but we do have to at least try to be right. But when I tell you it doesn't matter if you're right or not, it doesn't.
You have to wait, like Derek Chauvin. Now we see what he is, so now he's weeded out. That leaves all the others. They have to really hurt and or kill somebody to call attention to themselves. What kind of psych eval they get before they come in, kind of background check they get before they come into police departments, law enforcement. But I think we need to find out. Now they want to be in charge and they want to be a police. And I always wanted to be a police officer so I could, and that's the key question, so I could what?
Just this week, 3 cops turned in another cop killing Black people or something to that effect, and he was fired. Maybe that's sort of turning this situation around a little bit. I think cops are going to be the ones who have to turn it around. Mm-hmm. You have to turn in your body. If he is, talking about Black people, he wish they would die, and he going to kill some, and he's going to bust their heads and all of that crap, like this cop was talking.
And they need to be on a lie detector when you ask them the questions. This is what we want to invite people to talk about. When they do pull you over, what do you say? When do you say?
All I can say is to tell these young people and old people too is that it's hard to win. You know, do the right thing and hope that'll save your life. But it's no guarantee. So do the right thing and pray that it'll get you out of that situation alive. That's all I can tell anybody.
And go home and have a good story to tell that night. You can be mad as hell when you get home. Just don't be mad out there because it's nothing good gonna come of it.
Nothing.
Why is the police officers, they wear a body cam and they know they wear a body cam. Why is the body cam not a deterrent for them doing stuff? Because they're getting busted by their body cam. Why does that not stop them from doing what they do?
I think it's because they know, they feel like, especially if they're white, that nothing is going to happen to them. That's why.
What do the police expect when they make a stop? To let us know and have conversation about not getting out of the car, or warnings to not get out of the car, to not get upset if it's a bogus stop, because it very well may be a bogus stop. Figure out a way to let the police know that you're not a threat. And ain't nobody punking out. We're not talking about that. That's not what this conversation is. It's about being smart and being smarter. And it's about going home. Put your ego in your pocket and go home with it. If you're riding dirty, if your tag's expired, if your car is not registered, if you got something in your car, all that other stuff, you riding dirty, and you get pulled over and they say they got to take you in, you got to go. Plain and simple. I want to have a conversation with our community and find out if the body cam is not a deterrent to police brutality. I thought that was the whole point of the body cam. When are we going to meet next? Saturday, June 5th, 4 to 5 your time, 4 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 1 to 2 o'clock Pacific.